It goes without saying that the yurichenko vault requires an excellently executed round-off phase. So the gymnast needs to be able to do a very square, straight round-off, and they have to practice landing the round-off in exactly the right position from an increasingly longer run. Using a carpet square or some marker will give the gymnast practice at hitting the same spot every time. And the coach will stand behind to just help the straight jump required for the next part. Good, next one. Yes, full extension, lift up straight, stretch up, good, hips forwards a little bit, girls. That's it, good, like that one. Important at this stage to iron out any common mistakes with yurichenko, and some of the common mistakes that I've found are as follows. Because the gymnast works uphill onto a springboard, it often happens that the gymnast will land too short on the springboard. From this position, if you land too short, the only options are 1, to bend the knees, which we don't want, or 2, to be soft in the back, to arch the back and take off short and high. The gymnast needs to land near to the vertical, but with the lower back leading the skill, so that they reach backwards, ready to hit the vault with a low angle. From this position, the arms should lead the skill. Many gymnasts again will begin with the head. The job for the yurichenko is to open the shoulder angle so that you contact with all the muscles in the front of the body pre-stretched. The head remains neutral in between the hands, and from that position you can make a powerful courbet action on top, rather like the whip that you would have seen on the floor sequence. So from round off, bend the legs and jump back, full extension with the head held neutral. The arms land from the round off slightly down to shoulder height to facilitate the swing back into the whip. So the round off will land on the springboard this way, the gymnast will lean backwards, push and extend the arms for the yurichenko. That's what we're looking for, and we want to avoid a landing that arches too early. First the back and then the hands with the head still. From the round off phase we can start to introduce the backflip. And it's important to get the trajectory right. Of course, it isn't as low as a backflip on floor, nor is it as high as a straight back. The gymnast has to adjust the flight parabola to cope with 125 centimetres or 135, depending on what vault they're working on. And we can train as follows. Round off stretch jump. Good. The gymnast will tip back and the coach will just lift them gradually into a backflip position. That's nice. A little bit more hips up, one more each, girls. That's good, and you can see that they're now starting to tip quite nicely into a high backflip phase. Then alter my support slightly so that one hand goes at the top of the back, one hand on the legs, and I can lower them slowly into the desired position. Again, catch with everything extended in the front of the body, ready to make the snap phase. Using blocks like this is useful because the gymnast eventually will perform the skill on their own to finish standing and can make a back somersault afterwards. Good, down. The coach should only introduce the springboard when he's absolutely sure of the competence of the round off, that the gymnast can hit the same spot every time. And it goes without saying that when you use a springboard, always use the yurichenko block to avoid any injuries of the gymnast straying to one side. And again, the first progression, round off, straight jump to check everything's okay. A little bit over to one side, Kaylee. Chest in on the round off. Good. Tori. Good. A little bit more extension now, girls, so you start to stretch up and over my head. That's good. Keep tension in the middle part of your body. Good. And then we can develop that round-off jump into a little bit more extension to land in the backflip position with the head neutral and the shoulders fully extended. My support is at the top of the back and on the legs just to guide the trajectory. Stretch tall. Well done. Yes? Good. Okay. When the gymnasts are happily performing a round-off backflip slowly, we can start to increase the speed. The role of the coach is then to just shadow the gymnast in case of any problems. And in this setup, the gymnast can perform a backflip onto the block, the platform, and a straight somersault or a tuck somersault or a twisting somersault to land on mats or into a foam pit. Off we go, girls. Next one. Stretch up high. Stretch tall. Okay, go. Well done. Kaylee, one more for you. With enough progressions on the tumble track setup and using the blocks, the gymnast can quickly progress to this kind of a setup, and in the same principle as the Sukahara and Kazamatsus, they can perform yurichenko to land on their back on a slope or a platform. Off we go, Tori. The coach will stand in just in case. Good. And it's advisable to use some sort of a soft mat in front of the round-off, because at speed, to perform a round-off onto a very hard surface like a vault run can be a little painful. So using a softer mat is permitted in competition and positively encouraged.